Your throat tightens. The words rush to your lips before you even finish listening. 99% of men collapse in under 3 seconds. Not because they're weak, but because they cannot endure the pause. You think you are defending yourself, but in reality, you are revealing exactly where you can be hurt. This is the moment most men lose everything. Not loudly, not dramatically, but invisibly. It happens every day. Someone questions your decision, or you receive a message that feels slightly disrespectful, or a silence hangs in the room 1 second too long, and it starts to feel heavy. Not dangerous, just uncomfortable. And that's all it takes. In that split second, your body makes a choice without asking you. Your breath jumps into your upper chest. Your jaw tightens. An urgency floods your system. You feel a desperate need to correct the record, to explain what you meant, to make sure they understand you. You believe this is communication. You tell yourself you are just clearing the air. But the man watching you sees something else. He doesn't see a man standing his ground. He sees a man afraid of being misunderstood. And here is the part no one ever tells you. The moment you rush to be understood, you become controllable. You are not responding, you are reacting. And the moment you react, you hand over your power. I learned this the hard way. Years ago, I lost the woman I loved most. Not because I yelled, not because I cheated, not because I failed her. I lost her because I couldn't survive 3 seconds of silence. She looked at me and asked a simple question. Why did you do that? And instead of breathing, instead of waiting, instead of letting the question land, I panicked. I explained. I justified. I filled the space with words she never asked for. By the time I stopped talking, I could feel it. Something had shifted. Not in the room, in me. That was the first time I realized something terrifying. Silence isn't what breaks men. The inability to endure it is. And once you see this, you will start noticing it everywhere. It starts with a physical lie. Think of the last time you felt your authority challenged. Maybe it was a comment from your boss. Maybe it was a look from your partner. Maybe it was a message that ended with a single period. Nothing explosive, but your body knew. Before your mind even processed the words, something happened. Your breath jumped into your upper chest. Heat rose up the back of your neck. Your jaw tightened. If you were holding your phone, your grip locked until your knuckles turned white. You didn't decide to react. It happened to you. And here's the first truth most men never hear. This is not a personality flaw. This is not anger issues. This is not you being emotional. This is a biological event, a nervous system loop called the reactivity reflex. 99% of men live inside this reflex every day. In the wild, speed meant survival. The man who reacted fastest lived. But you are no longer in the wild. In the modern world, speed is not safety. Speed is exposure. Watch yourself from the outside. You see the message. You don't just read it. You absorb it like a toxin. Your thumbs start moving before your mind catches up. You type a paragraph. Delete it. Type a shorter, colder version. Delete that too. You rewrite the message again, trying to sound strong but not too aggressive. Then you hit send. And then you wait. You stare at the screen, waiting for the 3 dots to appear, waiting for relief, waiting for proof that you are still okay. You tell yourself, I just needed to set the boundary. But underneath that sentence is the real one you don't want to hear. Please don't think wrongly of me. This is the trap. The urgency you feel is not a sign of passion. It is a sign of instability. A man with authority does not feel pulled toward every knock at the door, but you are sprinting. You were taught that the man who speaks first and speaks loudest wins. That is the illusion of the playground. In the real world, the man who requires the most words to explain himself holds the least power. The reflex makes you feel like you are fighting back, but to everyone else, it looks like you are begging. And here is the most dangerous part. Every time you obey this reflex, you are training the people around you. You are teaching them exactly how fast your frame collapses under pressure. And once someone learns that, they never forget. The mechanism is subtle. That's why it works. Once you see it, you will never unsee it. Watch what happens the moment you feel misunderstood. Maybe you said something, and the room went quiet. Maybe someone you care about looked at you with disappointment. Maybe your boss paused half a second too long. Nothing explosive. But inside you, something collapsed. You feel a drop in your stomach, a hollow sensation, like the floor just sank an inch beneath your feet. The silence feels like an accusation. And to make that feeling stop, you start talking. You don't just speak. You flood the zone. You offer context nobody asked for. You give reasons for decisions that were already yours to make. You start sentences with, "I just wanted you to know. The reason I did that was, I didn't mean it like that." You tell yourself you are being clear. You tell yourself you value communication. But from the outside, it doesn't look like clarity. It looks like bargaining. Here is the shift most men never notice. The moment you over-explain, you change roles. You step out of your life as the authority, and you re-enter it as the defendant. You are no longer standing on your decision. You are asking for permission after the fact. You didn't need approval before, but now you do. This is the gate you kneel at, and here is the humiliation hidden inside it. You are not asking to be right. You are asking to be forgiven. WTF moment. The more you explain, the more you imply that you were never allowed to decide in the first place. I've watched this happen to men who command rooms for a living, CEOs, founders, leaders. Put them in front of someone they emotionally value, and suddenly they shrink. They talk more. They justify faster. They explain things no one challenged. And in that moment, their authority leaks out through their mouth. Here is the hard truth. Over-explaining is the adult version of a child asking for permission. When you rush to justify yourself, you are saying, "I do not trust my own position enough to let it stand. I need you to agree with me so I can feel safe again." The more you talk, the smaller you become. Words are like currency. The more you print to cover a debt, the less each word is worth. A simple no explained with a paragraph is no longer a boundary. It is a plea. A mistake explained for 10 minutes is no longer a mistake. It is a confession of fear. And here is the part that hurts the most. You think you are winning them over, but what you are really doing is teaching them something critical. You are teaching them exactly how much pressure it takes to make your frame collapse. And once someone learns that, they never forget. Now we go deeper. If over-explaining is the symptom, what is the disease? It is your inability to endure the 0.5-second gap. There is a moment, less than a heartbeat between stimulus and response. Someone challenges you, gap. Someone disrespects you, gap. Someone questions your value, gap. 99% of men never feel this gap. The trigger hits, and the defense fires instantly. No choice, no awareness. You are not responding. You are being launched. It's a reflex arc, bypassing the conscious mind entirely. You think you are driving the car, but the car is driving you. Here is where men are separated, quietly, mercilessly. True power does not live in dominance. It does not live in aggression. It does not live in clever words. True power lives inside that half second of restraint. This is where hierarchy is established, not by muscle, not by money, but by nervous system depth. Imagine a man who has mastered this. He is challenged, the words land, and nothing happens. No flinch, no forced smile, no defensive tone. He pauses, not to think, not to calculate, but to let the moment exist. He inhales, slowly. He looks at the person who spoke, not aggressively, not submissively. He lets the silence stretch, and something unsettling happens. The energy thrown at him has nowhere to land. It hits a void, and because he doesn't take it, the awkwardness rebounds to the person who sent it. This is the mirror effect of silence. They expected resistance. They expected defense. They expected reaction. Instead, they are left alone with their own words, and their nervous system panics. You can see it. Their posture shifts. Their tone softens. They begin to explain themselves, because silence is confrontational to the person who caused it. But you are terrified of this moment. You were trained to believe that if you don't respond immediately, you will look weak. The opposite is true. Urgency implies threat. When you react instantly, you signal that you are easily shaken. When you take your time, you signal something far more dangerous, that you do not need to defend your position to survive. Here is the mini twist most men miss. The man who controls time controls the frame, and silence is time ownership. There is a sensation you must learn to recognize. It feels like a vibration in your chest, a phantom hand pushing you forward, your ego screaming, say something, fix this, don't let it sit. The unawakened man obeys this impulse every time. The awakened man does something else. He feels it, he watches it, and he does nothing. He understands the secret no one taught him. The man who can hold the silence the longest is the man who holds the frame. Let's stop speaking in theory, because this isn't happening in books. It's happening in your kitchen, in your office, in the moments where no one is watching, but everything is being decided. The real test is not conflict. The real test is the void. The pause after you speak, the silence after you set a boundary, the space where no one immediately reassures you. This is where men break. Most men don't fail because they say the wrong thing. They fail because they cannot tolerate uncertainty. Take the most common human storm. Someone you care about is upset, not calm, not logical. Emotion is moving through them fast. They question you, accuse you, or simply feel disappointed. Your reactivity reflex ignites. You feel an overwhelming need to fix the moment, to calm the storm, to explain your intention. So you interrupt. You match their intensity. You start listing reasons. You think you are stabilizing the situation. But what you are really revealing is something else. That you cannot stand inside chaos without trying to control it. And here is the truth most men never want to hear. People are not testing your logic. They are testing your capacity. They are asking, often unconsciously, can this man remain himself under pressure? When you rush to explain, you fail the test. Not because you were wrong, but because you collapsed. You proved that their emotional state is stronger than your internal state. Now look at the professional arena. You state your price. You make your offer. You give your opinion. The other person goes silent. No objection. No agreement. Just space. The room tightens. The silence feels like water rising to your neck. And because you cannot endure it, you speak first. Well, we can be flexible. I mean, that's just a starting point. We could also consider game over. You didn't lose the negotiation. You gave it away. You negotiated against yourself because you couldn't sit inside the void. Here is the enemy, named clearly. It is not the other person. It is not their silence. It is your belief that silence is empty. Silence is not empty. Silence is weight. And when you cannot carry weight, you start dropping value. Now we reach the deepest layer, the one most men avoid. You are afraid that if you stop talking, if you stop justifying, if you let the silence expose you, there will be nothing there. That without the explanations, without the context, without the noise, you won't be enough. So you speak to cover the man you are ashamed of. But here is the twist that changes everything. The silence you fear is the only place where your strength can actually be felt. You now understand the trap. The question is no longer what to say. The question is whether you can survive the moment before speech. You cannot think your way out of a nervous system reflex. You must interrupt it with the body. That is why this is not advice. This is an initiation. I call it the 3-second gate. It is not a technique. It is a threshold. Most men never cross it. Here is how it works. The next time the pressure hits, the accusation, the awkward pause, the message lighting up your phone, you do nothing. Do not speak. Do not unlock the screen. Do not move. Freeze. You are going to force your body to endure 3 seconds of silence. These are not passive seconds. They are active. Second one, you inhale through your nose, deep, slow, not to calm down, but to send a signal. I am not under attack. You will feel the heat in your neck begin to cool. Your shoulders drop. Your chest opens. Second, 2, you stay present. You look at the person or the phone without trying to change anything. You notice the urge to explain. You name it silently. That is the boy trying to feel safe, and you let him step back. Second, 3, you choose. Does this actually require a response? Most of the time, the answer is no. Most of the time, the strongest response is stillness, a held gaze, a slight nod, turning back to your work. And if you do speak, your voice will come from a different place, lower, slower, rooted, not from your throat, from your center. This will feel uncomfortable. Your skin will crawl. Every instinct will scream at you to fill the gap. Let it burn. That burn is not danger. That burn is withdrawal. It is the sensation of your old identity losing control. If you can hold silence for 3 seconds, you can hold it for 10. And if you can hold it for 10, you can hold the room. The world is loud. It is full of men who explain to be seen, who react to feel alive, who speak because they are terrified of what might surface if they don't. Do not be one of them. Be the man who waits. When you stop explaining yourself, you are not withdrawing. You are concentrating power. You are building gravity. People will feel it, not because you demanded respect, but because you did not chase it. The next time the storm comes, do not rush to close the window. Stand still. Breathe. Let the silence do the work for you. When you finally choose to speak, you won't need to raise your voice, because the room will already be listening. If this felt uncomfortably accurate, do not scroll. Comment void if you are ready to hold silence without collapsing. I will reply to the first 100. Subscribe, not for motivation, but for initiation. This is where men stop reacting and start ruling their inner kingdom. You are not the noise. You are the silence underneath it.